to another video. So as you can see, I'm here in my living room again. And Zeke is right here at my feet. He's all curled up sleeping. So in the corner of his bed. Today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of a white cane versus a guide dog. To give you, those of you that are in the blind visually impaired community, my perspective and personal experience, but also for those of you that are in the blind community that are considering getting one or the other and don't know which one to choose, what will be better for you. And to my sighted viewers, to just educate you on why some of us would prefer to use a white cane or a guide dog. So back when I was very little, I've been visually impaired since birth. I did not start using a cane until I was since 2015 when I was 14 years old. Because I've always had enough vision. My vision was worse back then before I got it corrected through surgery. Not use a cane, but also like I didn't have the best depth perception. That's part of how I started using a cane. And I wanted to use a cane. I really enjoyed using it. I didn't care if people stared at me. Of course, there was definitely times when I got annoyed, but I used the cane from that time on to about pretty much earlier this year, early 2022. So I've used it for about 6-7 years at this point. So I've used it full time like 6-7 years, most of it before I got Zeke in January from a guide dog school called Guiding Eyes for the Blind, which is located in Yorktown Heights, New York. And I'm from Illinois. In 2017, I heard that it was possible for me to get a guide dog 16 and up. So at that time, I was like 16, almost 17 years old. In October of 2017, I posted a video back when I started this channel a couple years back of me walking with one of the guide dogs from a guide dog school that came to the Chicago Lighthouse North campus in Glenview, Illinois, to leader dogs for the blind from Rochester Hills, Michigan, to give people an experience like me, like what it was like with a guide dog, like what's the commitment to taking care of them and keeping up their training and stuff like that. And I tried it, and like I didn't feel like I was ready for a guide dog yet because I was so used to my cane, and I've only had it for like 2 years at that time. And I just felt still like I was comfortable with it, and I didn't feel mature and ready enough. Like I just knew. So at that time, when I heard 16 and up you can get a guide dog, I chose maybe I can consider getting a guide dog after high school. This is like a story time section, then I'll get to the pros and cons of both. So, yeah, at that time, I was determined to get really good at my cane skills and to get a guide dog, because particularly when you want a guide dog, guide dog schools are really they're really honest about what's best for you. They want you to have really good cane skills and really good O&M skills, or orientation and mobility. I've taken O&M since I was about 3-4 years old, so I've grown up with doing that kind of stuff, since I said visually impaired since birth or legally blind. I think it's important to recognize in the blind visually impaired community is that there's no right or wrong answer in someone in the blind community. The cane doesn't suit everybody, and the guide dog doesn't suit everybody. Everyone's personal preference is different, and I respect that. As I said, there's no right or wrong answer, because everybody wants to navigate differently. Because with a guide dog, you have more auditory skills, and that's my strong suit. I am more auditory, even though I do pretty good with stuff like Braille and feeling stuff on the floor with my cane. But I feel like I just focus more on my ears. So even when I was a cane user, I noticed certain sounds I heard that a lot more. I noticed I focused on it more. So that was part of the decision of me getting a guide dog. One of the things that I like about the cane is that people move out of your way. People immediately identify me as being blind, visually impaired, whatever, and they see it. When people see it, they're like, "Oh, this guy might be blind," and they just move out of your way, which is nice, because the red and white cane is universally recognized. Look who decided to wake up because I went to go get my cane. Hi, Zeke. Hi. You can see him right down here, photo about me. He's wondering what I have, he's wondering what I have. So yeah, he's just resting now. But here's my cane. It has keychains on it. That's what those cling noise you're hearing. The keychains are more of a fun thing for me, Not everybody with a white cane does this. I just noticed this from like the blind visually impaired people that I've grown up with. They used to do that and I thought it was nice. It was kind of nice. It was a nice identifier because I have enough vision to like see what cane is. I knew over time I knew which person's cane was which because they told me what keychains they had and stuff like that. So this is more the standard universally recognized version of a cane. I got this off of Ambutech, or I got this from my vision program that bought them off of Ambutech. I'll link them below so you guys can, if you're looking for a white cane, I highly recommend going on there because this is an aluminum cane. I've never tried any other option. There's also graphite. I forgot what else, but you can look on the website for yourself. And I have a marshmallow tip. This is a new cane because my older cane, it broke, unfortunately, so we had to throw that one away. You can see, like, this one is not as battered down because, like, this was right before I left for guide dog training to get Zeke, who's right here at my feet. Wow, that rhymed. So, like, I know you can also, like, change your cane tip colors. From what I've heard, I guess somebody with, someone who doesn't have the standard colored cane like this, it wouldn't be as universally recognized because in America, and I heard white canes that are with the red on the bottom and stuff like that, they are identified in America as blind. So, yeah. So that's my cane. I do have another one, but I don't need to show you because it's essentially the same thing. It just doesn't have keychains on it and it's a little bit shorter. But it's also my spare just in case this guy breaks. Why did I say break? Broke. I can't speak. Wow, good one, Christian. The thing I like about a cane is that it's universally recognized, particularly the red and white one. Like, you know, when people see it, they're just like, oh, this guy is blind, visually impaired, whatever. So and another one is also, they just move out of your way because, like, I've seen people, like, back in high school, like, they would jump over my cane, which is kind of funny. Like, I can see them up in front of me, or sometimes I don't notice them, and they just literally jump over my cane because they obviously nobody knows how much vision I have because they just see the cane. But like, I know I can see them because they were right up close to me. It was not too hard navigating a hallway, but people got out of the way though. Another thing I like about the cane is people like, they know that I'm blind. They know that I'm visually impaired, which is also nice sometimes. And they offer you help because they know that you might be struggling with you need some help. They know that you're disabled by that. Another thing is I do feel safe with it because that's the whole point of it. Like, it identifies to people a symbol of blindness. It gives you like the tactile feedback on the floor. Like, I can tell that I can feel it hitting something on the floor, and that tactile stuff did work with me for quite a bit of time. That's some of the other pros that I can think of. Let me know if I forgot anything to the blind people out there with canes. Cons of the cane is that it makes you feel more vulnerable because, unfortunately, blind people, like, we're viewed as being more vulnerable, and unfortunately, like, we could be like, I could potentially be a target or at risk, unfortunately, because of that. But with a guide dog, it stops me from being more vulnerable. But I'll get more into that. I feel so much slower now with a cane. I notice with Zeke now that he's my eyes and my navigation in the world, I noticed that, like, I used my cane once for something just to see how stuff gone. Like, I noticed, like, ooh, wow, like, I'm not used to that anymore. Like, I remember the technique. I know how to use it. Like, and plus, like, the passion is, like, you know, I like that kind of stuff. So, but like, how the way how I feel when it's slower, when I go slower, like, it gets annoying because, like, I just want to, like, not focus so much, like, and like, also get, like, it gets stuck in cracks. I got hit in the stomach before, or chest area, at least once in life by my cane in the past 6-7 years with it. And I think anybody else who's blind with a cane would also agree with me because at least I got hit with our canes at least once in life. I don't have a ton of pros and cons for canes I can think of at the moment. That's just some of the stuff that I can think of at the top of my head for now. Let's talk about this guy right here, Zeke. Zeke, or Zeke Bear, whatever you want to call him. We call him that. Zeke Bear, Zekers. That's his nicknames. It's cute. I love the safety feeling. And then I know a lot of guide dog users, women and men, would all agree with me that we feel so much safer with a guide dog compared to a cane. Because with a dog, like, a dog is a living thing. A cane is just a tool. My guide dog, Zeke, is also a tool. But he's more than that. He's my best friend. He's my child. I feel so safe. I know I said that again, but, like, I just like it. And people won't take advantage of me because I have this now 81-pound dog that people don't want to get bit by. You know, he's huge, and labs are big. And that's the general type of guide dog that you would see everywhere. And sometimes German Shepherds, but you get the point. Another pro of a guide dog is having a friend having a friend with you. I'm not alone anymore in public. Like, I'm social with people. I love to meet new people. But, like, when you can't see, or when you have a hard time seeing them if you have some vision or no vision at all, it can be tricky to make connections with people, because with a cane, I feel like people are scared. That's another con of a cane. I should have said that now that I think about it. A cane, people don't want to come up to you. Like, they're scared to, they think they're going to offend you. They don't want to ask you questions. And like, it's tricky, and you miss connection with the world because people are not as familiar with the blind and visually impaired. And with a guide dog, I'm more social with people. People want to ask me, like, what's your dog's name? Like, how long have you had him? And it's a really nice conversation starter. And it's also a really great way for me to talk about my disability in a way that's not going to be so scary for people, because people don't see me as being blind and not seeing, or, well, people do, because, like, they've seen, like, guide dogs have been around. They were the first form of service dog since the 1920s, and the Seeing Eye was the first school that opened in Morristown, New Jersey, in the United States. So many people love dogs. It's such a great it's such a great thing, and I love to talk to people about him because, you know, like, he's an amazing dog, and I've loved dogs my whole life. That was also a great thing about getting a guide dog. I've wanted to have that was one of my goals. Like, as a child, like, I knew about the whole thing before I knew the age you can get a guide dog and up. I dreamt of getting a guide dog one day, and look at me now. Look what life has brought me. I'm almost 21 now. So, yeah, I feel so fast. Like, I feel like I just whoosh through my obstacles, and, like, there's just nothing in my way, and Zeke just takes me right around it. Like, it's one of those, like, I zoom, like I don't know, I just zoom with, like, super speed fast or something to just get it. Like, I'm just walking, enjoying life. I could turn over finally, like, turn my head over to talk to someone, because I'm not so afraid of, like, tripping. My cane can tell me beforehand, like, I have enough vision to, like I still have sometimes I try to look for certain things, and because I've almost tripped before when not paying attention, and Zeke stops me at stairs, a curb, he stops me in front of obstacles, or he if he doesn't know which way to go, because he's been to a familiar part of, let's say, a building before, he checks in with me to, like, let me know, like, hey, like, where do you want to go? And, yeah. Another thing is a kind of a me thing, but I don't know about you other guide dog users out there. I love doing the training. I realized, like, well, plus it was also easy for me because Zeke is smart. He's a very smart dog, and he's like, he'll do anything for treats. I think a lot of us can agree that have guide dogs. They want to do a lot of stuff for us. They will do anything for you just to get a treat, but also, like, they want to do a good job. And, you know, like, I love that he loves to work. I also love working with him. It's a win-win for everybody, you know. It makes me happy that knowing that he's happy, you know, and, like, just these past 2 months with him, almost 3 now, it's like it's changed. He's changed my life in a big way. And like just having a dog, like it's even made my family closer that we've never would have thought of. You know, dogs just make our lives better. Oh, there's Zeke. He just adjusted. He always groans like that, and this guy's all curled up right here. He's just so cute. And he took a breath, of course. He's been more vocal since the last 2 months. Like his personality's really come out. But anyways, let's get to the cons of a guide dog. You constantly have a child attached to your hip. Like it's basically the reality, you know. Like it's like a human kid. Like you know, it's a lot of work, but also a guide dog or like taking care of a pet. A dog in general is a lot of work. Like it took me time to get used to figuring out like his behaviors and what he likes to play with, and just like getting adjusted to my new life when I got home with him. It was pretty overwhelming. It felt like I felt like I don't know. I will be honest, like I was being a little hard on myself during training, like at one part because like my trainer told me this, like when she picked me up from the airport, taking me to the first week of class, she was saying that like a lot of first time guide dog users like try to be perfect, but that's not what they expect. Um, which I can agree with because like I know they don't expect perfect with us, but a really good a really good classmate of mine that I'm still in contact with after I got home from training. I really enjoyed it, by the way. She told me to not be hard on myself because like I thought the training was gonna be harder, but it was also because I think it was part of it was because like on top of that with listening to all my lectures and like just the very little things I got to think about with like the bonding and like just the building that working trust as well. It's a lot. And but now like luckily that a trainer came out to see me at home here to see how Zeke and I are doing. I got a better idea of how to train them on my own. Now I just know how to do it. You have to think about those things. Like you have to think about like what medications do they need to use? Are they feeling okay? Do they need to go to the bathroom? Like even at work and at school, like I have to think about like how I'm gonna make his schedule. Like before I even got him, the week before I came home to go back to school. You guys seen the video where I showed him like us at my transition program or the place I go to for my classes this year? That like I have to like make accommodations for the place. Like I gotta like talk to my teachers and the students in my class and the program administrators in the building. I gotta like what I gotta like make accommodations in the classroom for him. I also have to like figure out what's like the best taking out to the bathroom spot for him. Like all those things. Like there's so much like you know all the medications and stuff. Like if you're traveling, like you have to like like his toys, his medications, and everything. There's just so much to cover when getting a guide dog, and I get it that people that just want to remain a cane user, I understand because it's definitely not easy, and even though like people like me, like yes, like the pets or dogs are like so much work, but it's still worth it though. It is worth it when you really put the effort in. But like I can also understand why people don't want another thing to take care of on top of their children, etc. You're constantly training the dog. It's not like this thing that you're just going to bring home and it's going to be just a perfect dog, a quote perfect dog. They're not really perfect. They're not robots. They're just living, breathing things like us. They're going to make mistakes and you have to correct every time they make a mistake. You got to like teach them new routes. You got to do all those things. Like you have to, because they're gonna be stressed out when they come home, or they're gonna be nervous, or like they're gonna be new to the environment. You have to teach them those things. Like they're not just gonna. I mean, they will like start learning over time, like where you go often, but like you have to keep doing those things consistently, because consistently is gonna be a good thing for them. That's how they thrive. I feel like it's something the general public overlooks when it comes to guide dogs or service dogs in general. Just because they're well trained, it doesn't mean that they are just going to be perfect the way they are. And that they are still dogs at the end of the day. And they're just animals. But you also have to think about, like, you have to be ready to be, like, to tell people You can't pet the dog. You can't talk to the dog and stuff like that. Like, you have to be ready for those things. And you also have to be ready for another thing where, like, access issues. Like, like if you ever encounter one, like, you got to be ready to advocate and tell them your rights and under, like, the law and stuff. But also in the training aspect of it, like, if you're considering getting a guide dog and you're at a young age, make sure you're really ready for the commitment. Make sure that you are mature and you are independent, and you're ready to take on the huge responsibility, constantly training the dog and constantly keeping them occupied every single day of your life. What you really need to look at is what pros outweigh what cons. What pros and cons for you in your life. Because for me, the guide dog pros outweigh the guide dog cons. So basically, guide dogs are worth it for me. Sometimes you got to put their needs before yours, which sometimes is just the way it is, because that's part of the dog's health and well-being. You gotta think about those things. It gets frustrating when you have to constantly tell people to stop talking to your dog or like touching it. A lot of people do things like, I know I can't pet you, but you're just so cute and I want to. But like, the reason you can't pet him is because it's distracting him. It's just as distracting as distracting a person like me at my desk working on the computer or something. So I know it's tough. Just be aware that my dog needs to pay attention to me and my safety. And if you distract him and I'm like crossing a street or something and we get hit by a car, that's potentially life-threatening or dangerous. And like, it can be tricky. You have to be surrounding yourself with people that are also going to follow the training and the rules and like not going to ruin the training, and like understanding that you're the boss of the dog when working. Nobody else can command the dog either. Even though like Zeke does a really good job with ignoring people, but like still, like I have to sometimes constantly remind people. Like, that's some of the pros and cons that I could think of. The guide dog school that I got Zeke from was Guiding Eyes for the Blind, as I've said, in Yorktown Heights, New York. I will link their website down below. I highly encourage you to go donate to them, because what they're doing for people like me that need these dogs, they pay so much money. We get the dogs free of charge, us clients, and they fundraise through the breeding, the training, and for the first 2 years of their lives. And he's 3 years old now, but like, he got 2 years of training prior to even me receiving him. He turned 3 at the end of March of this year. But yeah, that's some of the pros and cons that I could think of. White canes versus guide dogs. I hope for those of you that are in the blind, visually impaired community, gives you a better idea of what you think would be best for you. But also, like, I support your decision. I'm just giving you guys my perspective and my own experience and just what I understand, just to give you a pretty good idea of what it's like that I've done both worlds of navigation. So yeah, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video tonight. Comment, like, and subscribe, and that'll be it. See you all in the next video. Bye.